So you glad to get the album over with? Is it a big relief?
Yeah, we were plunged instantly into rehearsals, so just gathering momentum for the last 15 minutes making the album. We haven't really had a chance to slow down yet. So it's good to have it finished. It's a good feeling.
The real luxury must have been, instead of doing 3 or 4 songs for an album, being able to write a whole bunch.
Yeah, well, we were able, we had the scope this time to, I think we afforded each other about 6 tracks. So, it's a problem when you're doing a single album with 3 songwriters to really prove to yourself what you can do, and, in a situation like making an album, a double album, was a risk to us.
How so?
Well, it was just in the way that we weren't really sure how long it would take us to make. I mean, it took us a year to make Rumours, but we decided to go ahead with it and just explore all the sort of musical realms that we could. And so to me, or to all of us, it's turned out to be a very varied, very comprehensive musical album for us.
I think so. It certainly went through every possible musical realm that I would care to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And the nice thing about it was that...
There's no classical music in it.
No. Well, in a sense, there is. I think.
Take this off. It's hot.
What I liked is that everybody did seem to explore within their range.
Yeah. I don't know what else I could say to that. Yeah, you're right.
Well, did you approach writing songs differently? I mean, I would imagine normally you'd say, well, I'm going to write a Fleetwood Mac song, and here it is. I mean, I'm wondering if this time you said, well, I'm going to...
Well, no, we never write Fleetwood Mac songs. We just write songs, I mean, we don't... It's never a question of complying to a certain conformity, like within what people expect to hear from Fleetwood Mac. It just depends on how or what we want to write ourselves. If the rest of the band likes the songs, then we go ahead and record them. As simple as that, really. But this time we were able to do more of that. To be a little bit more experimental, maybe, and like I say, do the kind of things that one would not normally be able to do on a single album.
There seemed more vocal experimentation this time. I've only heard the album once, so I'm not a great expert at it.
Well, it's more, to me, I think we've made more use of the sounds.
Of voices?
Not the voices so much as the instruments, just the way of the layering. The way we layered the music, the actual sounds, guitar sounds, all sorts of keyboard sounds. And also, in some cases, simplifying to the point of just using barely, bass, drums, 1 guitar, 1 piano, Just the way of how we, we just explored with the sort of recording techniques.
Wasn't this album actually quicker to record than Rumours?
It took about the same time, but it's a double album, so yes, it did, in essence.
So it was pretty prompt.
It was very prompt for us. Very prompt. It all went very quickly.
People would think that with so much time between the Rumours and this album, that Fleetwood Mac may have been just taking time off and vacationing. This is not true, though, is
Oh,
it?
no, God. Well, I mean, when you think about... It's been, 2.5 years since Rumours? That or 3 years or something? I mean, we toured and worked the Rumours album all over the world for like a year and a half. After the release of that album, it was in the charts for over a year. Then we needed a break. We took a short break. We were all being carted around on stretchers by that time, and then it's taken us a year to do this album. So we really haven't been flaking off, as it were. Not at all. It has just worked out that way.
How did you find time to write?
Well, somewhere in the midst of that last 3 years, we managed to find a bit of time to write as well.
Are you a road writer, or do you have to have a specific environment?
I'm a home writer, really. But I'm going to try writing on the road this time, because I'm going to take a little... They've just got a new little cassette recorder out. There's a 4-track cassette recorder I'm not advertising the product, but it's supposed to be really compact, you know, and it hasn't come out in this country yet. It comes out it's in Japan at the moment.
They just introduced it.
Have they?
Mm-hmm. I want one.
And you know what I mean. I'm going to take that on the road with me and a real portable piano to see what I can cough up this summer. Usually, I'll get tired of a song if it becomes 6 months old, you know. I'll be more into the one I wrote last week than you know what I mean?
That's an old album to you, I bet.
No.
Okay.
No, it isn't. I listen to it and I get very excited by it.
So still new, it still seems new.
Oh, yes.
When you bring a song...
It's a good job it does, because it's probably going to be around for a hell of a long time. But I hope it is still new to me now.
Yes, it's got to do a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's got to have big muscles. When you finish a song and you bring it to the band, is it a matter of... What's the process? Does the band decide whether they want to do a song or to... Does everybody get involved in arrangement, that sort of thing?
Is that banging rather annoying?
And a sigh.
Could you just repeat that last question? I got preoccupied with that hammering noise. I thought this must be going on the tape.
When people hammer outside the window, do you want to throw things at them?
In a word.
When you finish a song, first, when you write a song, do you have some songs that you feel aren't for the group and that maybe should be recorded by others? Or?
No, I generally... I guess I've been with this band for so long now. I just generally write the songs that I like, and all being well, touch wood and whistling, the rest of the band always like them, so I never have a spare song really for anyone else. I'm very greedy with my songs. You know, I'm loath to give a song away that hasn't been first recorded by me, or at least attempted by me, you know, so... No, mainly when I submit a song, you know, play the band a song of mine, they generally like it. If they don't like it, I axe it, or, you know, stick it somewhere in a file and forget about it.
And come up with a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Does everybody start participating in the song after you've submitted it and everybody likes it?
Oh, yeah, it's strictly band participation for my songs.
Do you recall a song that may have been, the sound of which may have been totally altered by the time they got through with it?
Of mine?
Yeah.
No, not really of mine. More Lindsay's. Lindsay experiments with his songs in a way that nobody else I ever know has ever done. I mean, he can stretch, he can have a basic thing there, the whole song it'll be a different song by the time he's happy with it, you know. But my songs generally have a sort of a concept for what they should sound like, and the band, you know, John chooses a bass part that he likes, that, you know, Mick plays the kind of drums he wants to play. I never tell them what to do, but they always seem to fall right into place. I guess Over My Head was one of the ones I would say turned out different to the way I expected it to.
What'd you expect?
Well, I didn't like it very much when I first played it, and what happened on the tape I liked very much in the end, which was something that, you know, I guess contributions mainly by Lindsay. What he was doing on the guitar was so nice. It gave the whole thing a different feel, and from there we sort of started piling things on it. And
one of those pleasant surprises.
yes, it was. In fact, it turned out to be the first single. And I thought it was going to be the big reject stamp, you know.
Coming back. You've been with the band a very long time.
Yeah, that's 11 years.
And people always talk about the different incarnations of Fleetwood Mac, as if there were a lot of Fleetwood Macs. But you've seen it, I should imagine, from a different perspective of being a continuum.
Yeah, there's been a few personnel changes. I wouldn't say when I listen to the old albums, I always can hear some kind of a link up musically somewhere or other. I don't know what it is. I guess it's out of the rhythm section. I don't quite know what it is that the writers in Fleetwood Mac have always had some kind of something in common. I couldn't put my finger on exactly what it is. Bob Welch might have been the only one that was a little out on a limb musically, you know, little bit more, well, he was a West Coast, first American we'd ever had in the band to start with. And he was tending to be more jazz oriented, you know. And so he brought in a different influence. But Stevie and Lindsay, to me, go. The three of us augment very well as writers, you know, because.
Do you trade? Do the three of you trade?
I don't feel very articulate this morning. Blah, 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 blah. Huh?
We have such skilled editors.
Oh, good. I feel like a real Dumbo.
We'll make you sound like Winston Churchill.
Oh.
They're going to edit out all those hammer numbers.
This is the thing about the guy that apparently impersonated Winston Churchill in the famous speech.
Oh, really?
Landing on the beaches and we'll fight them in the streets. And
Fight them in the street.
that speech was not Winston Churchill, it was somebody else.
It was Winston Churchill.
No.
Wasn't it?
First,
I thought it was Winston Churchill. Why
Winston
did
Churchill made the speech, but he never recorded it, and they brought in this other girl because Churchill didn't have the time to do Churchill.
Is that right?
That's right, and the guy was on the news all last week, and then they did some more investigation because people remember hearing it on the radio, people who were old enough remember hearing it broadcast. They went through all the records of the BBC, and BBC never broadcast that speech until 1965.
That's amazing. I didn't know that. Is that really true? Yeah, boy. Learn something every day in this business.
That's right. So now you know that Winston tastes good like a cigarette should.
Oh dear.
Where were we? Have the three of you ever thought of writing together, or have you shared writing experiences?
Once or twice, yeah. We've, on the odd occasion, helped each other out with words on an individual song. But I think that The Chain was one that we wrote together. We didn't start off doing so. Originally, that was my song. And I got myself into such a bind with the damn thing. I didn't know what to do with it. And but everybody liked what was happening on the end of it. And that, I mean, that's the very original track with the lead guitar and everything. That was just the way we recorded it live in the studio. So we figured we should do something with the rest of it, and that's when Stevie and Lindsay and I sort of put our heads together and worked it out. That's about the only song really that we've worked together on.
When do you give up with a song? Is there a point where you say, I've had it, this song isn't going to make it, forget it? No, not really. I mean, not consciously anyway. This was something that you really like. You like the feel of. I mean, I won't kind of hammer at a song and bore myself with it. I'll just sort of go on to something else and come back to it. And eventually, I mean, it's usually one of those 10-minute wonders where you just sort of go and sit down to a piano one day, play it again, and it sounds. You put something else to it, and there it is. My best songs are usually written in a half an hour, so. It's been said that some of your songs aren't exactly happy, optimistic songs.
Oh, come on. That's ridiculous. Who says that?
Some people I've talked to say, gee, sometimes I think they're down.
My songs?
Your songs.
They're down.
An absurd statement. I was reading that somewhere.
Over My Head's down. You Make Loving Fun is down.
I didn't think so. I didn't agree to this.
I mean, I can't think of... Don't Stop Thinking About Tomorrow is down. I don't think any song I've ever written is Say You Love Me is down. I don't go for that at all. I think if anyone's songs are down, Stevie's are.
And yours are up.
I mean, I don't mean down in a negative way. I mean, but she tends to kind of write sad songs rather than me. I mean, Songbird. I can't think of a single song I've written that's down. I mean, I have love problems too, you know. So, but what song have I written that was down? Just trying to think. Can you think of one?
Not offhand. There's a statement I read which seemed a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
There's a statement I read which seemed a little weird. Do you ever wonder how things will be accepted?
Maybe they thought that I was stealing. Huh?
That could happen, I suppose.
Lots of people think I'm Lindsay. I mean, not looking at, but to hear me on the record, they think that it's me singing and not Lindsay. Somebody came up to me the other day and said, God, I love the way you sing, oh no, I forgot the name of the song now. You Can Go Your Own Way. So I thought it was me singing.
Yes, I think being misinterpreted would be better. Does that ever happen?
Misinterpreted.
Yeah, I mean, I would just mention the case where somebody thought your songs were down, they're up.
I don't get indignant really. I would tend to question that person severely if I was to bump into him and ask him to explain exactly what he meant, you know. Because I don't see that at all.
Well, let's go back in your past and find out what you did that got you in a position where people would call your songs down.
Okay. Go ahead.
So, when did you start, you grew up in England, we all know this. Were you in a musical family?
Yes. My father was a music lecturer, he's retired now. And I got involved in playing classical piano. You know, I was this big, 5 years old. And I hated it. I used to hate playing the piano. And fortunately for me, my parents were wise enough to let me stop. Because I don't think that a child should be forced to do 5-finger exercises while the other kids are out playing. If it's making the kid, just makes the kid hate the piano even more, you know.
Were you forced to, in the first place to play piano?
Well, no. I mean, they wanted me to take it up, and I wasn't exactly over-enthused, I can recall, but I did it, and then I hated it. They let me stop. Now, by the time I got to be like 11 years old, I wanted to take it up on my own, you know, my own volition, so I started going to piano lessons, and I loved it, you know. I played classical music till I was about 16, and then I found a copy of a Fats Waller book in the piano stall, you know. Mm-hmm. And because my brother being 4 years older than myself was just getting into jazz and everything, and I started to learn about boogie bass lines, and that was the end of it. Madam Amelia Hirons never forgave me. That was my piano tutor. I had this real strict piano teacher who used to have a little Yorkshire Terrier in one hand that had a kidney disease and a ruler in the other, and she said there's a rap out time on the piano, you know. The whole room was filled with aspidestras and about 4 grand pianos. You couldn't move in there. The place stunk, you can imagine.
Musty.
Real musty, and this wretched dog as well was hanging over your shoulder, you know.
What's this desire to do perverse things to Yorkshire Terriers?
Well, the perverse thing in that case was keeping it alive. It was sick. It was so sickly.
So you discovered Fats Waller and it changed your life?
Yeah, I started to learn I got involved with a band when I was at art college, and we used to go down to play at this little blues club every Sunday night, you know. Get paid about £3 a week for it. And would pay for my beer when I was at college.
Blues seems American blues, which I guess is what you were playing, I would suppose. I don't know if German blues or anything. But
well, it was sort of a very white English blues.
It seems so far away from the English experience. Was there a way of relating to it, or was it just the music?
I don't know why it happened. I really don't know why it happened. It swept through England. Every guitarist, every kid got a guitar and tried to play you know. It just caught on like wildfire. And we used to have all these blues guys coming over to play for us. I bet they couldn't believe it, really. You know, people like Otis Rush, Otis Spann, and B.B. King, Freddie King, Albert King. Used to come over and do these incredible tours of England. They used to play in the pubs, great big hallways above the English pubs, and people would cram in, and it was wonderful. Those were the days, all right. That's, you know, from there sprung. Well, John Mell was before all that, but it was way before all that. But then from that era sprung Fleetwood Mac, amongst others, and my band, a chicken shack that I used to belong to. Savoy Brown, Brian August Trinity, Graham Bond, all those bands, you know. And it was a very exciting time.
But how
Anyway.
do you relate to it? Because I mean, there isn't a big black population in England, and there isn't, tradition of picking cotton. I mean, was
No.
it intellectual, or was it just entirely
In fact, the
spiritual?
black population in England really didn't give a hoot about the music, the blues. You know, I think there was reggae. Reggae was a big thing for them. But I don't know. I really don't know why it happened. It was exciting, I suppose. People didn't really know what a 12-bar blues was. It was just something different from anything else that had ever happened in England before. And it was exciting. I remember seeing the Spencer Davis band, you know, with Steve Winwood. Boy, he was a little firecracker, you know. He was like 14 when I first saw him playing. He had really short hair. He just sort of stepped out of his school uniform into his dungarees and gets up on stage and wailing away. He was brilliant. He had a tremendous voice too. A little 14-year-old kid.
The Stevie Wonder of England.
Well, yeah, age-wise, I guess you... Oh, how old? Yeah. Yeah. He was brilliant. I don't quite know what's happened to him now, Steve Winwood.
I have no idea. You know?
You think he's living in England again? Sort of living in somewhere out in the country, in a farmhouse or something.
I miss all those records, though.
You do? What,
I
the old ones?
Yeah.
I'm sure you can get back copies of
No,
them.
I mean, I miss those coming out. I miss the newness of them. When you would go down to the store and they would have a new record out with some strange...
I know, it's all changing, isn't it? There really isn't that much to choose from these days, unfortunately.
What do you listen to?
What do I listen to? Fleetwood Mac. To be quite honest with you, I haven't really listened to a lot of music at all for the last year or so, because by the time I finish getting back from the studio or back from rehearsals, what I want to do is just sort of sit in a silent room and, you know, stare up at the ceiling for an hour and then go to sleep. But
No Busman's Holidays.
well, I mean, it's not that I don't love music, it's just the actual, the physical noise, you know, the noise factor. I mean, obviously I listen to a lot of music, but I'm not a music nut at this particular stage of the game. As you say, Busman's Holidays, I just enjoy being quiet after I've finished the day's rehearsals, you know.
Maybe the British blues got big in Britain because it was something everybody could call their own. You know, a group of people could say, this is our music.
But it generally wasn't. I mean, it was all, you know, everybody played Dust My Broom, everybody played. You know, it was people didn't make up their own songs. They used to get, you know, sort of rummage through all the old blues albums and find the most obscure blues 12 bars they could find and learn it and play it. It wasn't very often original. But then, I suppose, you know, from there came the bands like Fleetwood Mac, like Chicken Shack on a lesser level, that started to write their own music, like Peter Green.
What's something about Chicken Shack?
I'm talking about Fleetwood Mac right now, but Chicken Shack, yeah, I used to write my own songs. Not many, I wasn't big on songwriting. In those days, I think I wrote about 3 songs during my whole lifetime with them, which is about 2 years. And we used to support Fleetwood Mac on a lot of you know, gigs they did. That's how I met John.
Were you an admirer of Fleetwood Mac?
Oh yeah, I used to go everywhere. I used to follow them. Every time we weren't playing, I'd go and watch them because they were just so enigmatic. They just had some magical thing. I don't know what it was. People identified to them. They were even then, you know, there were 5 very, very strong personalities on stage. As they say, we are, you know. So there's 2 blonde girls in it now. But yeah, I was intrigued by them. I was intrigued, and they were really a powerful band.
When did you start writing? Was it with Chicken Shack or before?
I started writing with Chicken Shack, but like I say, not to any large degree. I wrote about 4 songs, maybe. 4 bad songs, I might say. And then when I joined Fleetwood Mac, Mick said, you ought to try writing a couple of songs, I was real paranoid about it. I was always so embarrassed to have to sing what I'd written, And now, it's difficult to stop me.
So, did you take yourself, at the beginning you didn't take yourself seriously as a writer?
No, I had no confidence whatever. No confidence at all. Not having the confidence made the songs not particularly good, because you tend to withdraw when you get very timid about,
You hold back,
yeah.
You had a solo career briefly between Chicken Shack.
Yeah, I have to talk about that. That was a questionable time in my life.
Why was that questionable?
Well, I won this Melody Maker Singer of the Year award, and I'd already left Chicken Shack. We recorded a song called "I'd Rather Go Blind," a song that was done by Etta James years prior to that, and it was such a lovely song. It became something of a hit. It wasn't a number 1 or anything. I think it got to be like number 9 in England. And for an underground blues band, that was pretty good, And Melody Maker in those days were anti-AM, pop music. They were really, front page would be someone like, B.B. King's mother-in-law, sort of really obscure, sort of cult, underground college student stuff, And all the students voted for me as being the best. In fact, I was virtually the only female singer in the country in those. In the blues band field, that was hiking up and down the M1. And I'd already left the band, so my manager comes up to me all excited. This little Welsh guy says, "You've won this award, Christine." And I was supposed to start this solo career, which I was cajoled into doing. I didn't really want to do in the first place. Got this band together and went out on the road, which was a total disaster. In fact, I remember running off the stage in tears one day, saying, "It sounds terrible." Oh dear, that was a nightmare. And I just said, I can't carry on with this. I'd rather do nothing than this. This is just, I'm not cut out to be a band leader. And that was when I did nothing.
You got your wish.
I got my wish. I got. This is just before Peter left Fleetwood Mac, and then shortly thereafter, I was asked to join Fleetwood Mac, which is perfect timing because I was starting to, climb the walls, wondering what on earth I'd do with myself now. That I was just a housewife, and it came just at the right time.
You were sort of an unofficial member for a minute, and then official, weren't you? Didn't you
help
out on an album?
Yeah, I helped out on Kiln House, unofficially, really unofficially. I sort of sat around and sang a few little background vocals with other things. But and I did the cover.
You still painting?
No, not as much as I'd like to. I lost the desire for it, lost the inclination to do it, and the time, really. And just now, lately, I'm beginning to wish that I kept it up a little more, because I went to art college for 5 years, and it seems rather redundant, a sort of waste of time to have, I'm a qualified art teacher, really. I would be, parents would be putting their children's lives in jeopardy, putting me in front of an art class. I can't remember virtually anything about it, which seems rather sad. So I'd like to kind of take it up again at some point and maybe go to night school again or something.
It's such a nice cover. Really.
Well, I don't think it was exactly, a work of art, but
there's nice simplicity.
Yeah, it was. A lot of people like the cover. I kind of like it in a scratch kind of way, but I don't think it was that marvellous, really. But it's mine.
So you wound up in this rock and roll band you'd always admired, right?
Mm.
Did it
It
feel
was
like
a blues band then.
blues band, that's right. Did you feel really vindicated or victorious or you know, sort of?
Well, yeah, I suppose when I stepped out of myself and looked at it objectively, I was thinking, my God, you know, I'm in the band, I'm in Fleetwood Mac, you know. But we went through a lot of trials and tribulations through the years since then, as obviously you must have heard about.
That's right, Peter Green left and
Yeah, well, yeah.
somebody had a profound experience in Los Angeles.
Yes, yes. Jeremy, you don't talk about that, do you? Want to go through all that?
No, I'm sure everybody's heard those
Yeah.
stories. It's the thing that the aspect of it that might be interesting is just how a band maintains any degree of continuity.
It seems to me that the more problems we share together, the tighter the bonds become. You know, we're very, very close. I mean, John and I now have been divorced for 2 years, 2.5, 3 years. And we're better friends now than we ever were. I mean, we went through some really bad patches, you know, when we actually had to play and work together at the onslaught of the separation and everything like that. But Stevie and Lindsay had a similar problem. But I think that we all felt so responsible for each other and had such a big loyalty for the band itself that none of us could actually say, well, that's it, I'm leaving, you know, because you had the other members of the band to consider. And so where most people, if they separate, normally don't see each other, and it takes them years to iron out any problems or, if ever, to become friends again, then we were forced into it. We had to iron things out. And because we had to see each other at breakfast every morning the same, you know, and travel together and work together. And so, I mean, now I'm really proud that John and I are able to, you know, be closer friends than we ever were, you know, and he's married again, and everything worked out really for the best.
It's interesting that people think that just because they work well together, that they can live together. That's not often true. It's really hard to escape.
A lot of bands don't get on the way we get on. And we don't necessarily see each other socially very much at all, but we see each other on a work level so much anyway, that we see more of each other than we do of the people, you know, friends that we would socialise with. There is no time to socialise.
It's been said that Fleetwood Mac went from a blues band to rock and roll and as a pop band, and through all these transitions, that the stabilizing influence may well have been your songs on the records, that those were the things that in a sense, linked all these eras of Fleetwood Mac. Would you tend to agree with that?
I don't see that. My songs have always tended to be a little bit on the commercial side. I mean, even when we were a blues band, I used to write kind of little ditties that were a bit more commercial than some of the other material that had been written by other writers. I don't know if it's been a stabilising factor. I don't.
Certainly led consistency.
Yeah,
the guitars
maybe
would change. I mean, everything would change, and there was still your songs, which had a particular style, would be on all these albums as they went through them.
That's funny. Everything would change except your songs.
You know what I mean? I mean, there's a big difference between the way Welch writes. And
Yes, yeah. And I mean, even now on this new album, I think you know, my songs are very, very prominently. I mean, people say. I guess it's because I've got a certain formula, you know, 2 verses, guitar solo, chorus. I'm kidding, but you know, I do have a kind of. I like to have a beginning, middle, and end to my songs. You know, I mean, maybe it's going to start boring people soon.
Well, we're at 6 every 3 years. I
Oh, that's true enough, yeah.
don't think that you need worry. So you don't necessarily agree with this.
No, I'm not disagreeing. I just never had thought about it in that way.
Well, think
It's
about
possible. It's possible. It's possible. It's very difficult to be objective about your own songs. You know, it's sort of. I can't say. I mean, you'd be better off asking Mick or someone a question like that, because I can't see it the way you're seeing it. You know. I would say that you're very possibly right, but you could be wrong.
Me? Never. Well, listen. Why did the band change from blues to rock?
When did it?
Well, why?
Why? There wasn't a reason why. It just happened that way. It was just. It wasn't a conscious effort on our part. Let's turn to a rock and roll band. It's a question of. I mean, I wrote quite a few blues-oriented songs, 12 bars and things like that, and they started to get so predictable. You know, what can you do with C, F, G, C, F, G? You know, all the time. I just started to just try branching out for myself, for my own pleasure. I mean, Over My Head is the first one that springs to mind. Is still, that's a blues song to me. That's a real blues. But there is no formula. There never has been, and it's just the way the coming together of the 5 musicians that we have now has made us what we are. It's not been a conscious effort to be a popular rock and roll band. It was a big chance. It was a big risk we took. You know, when Bob Welch left the band was had a pretty good living. We had a good living. We weren't making millions and millions of dollars. We were making a good living there. And when Bob left, we didn't know what on earth was going to come out of the studio the other end after we, Stevie and Lindsay had joined us, how it was going to turn out, and it was a real chance. But we didn't comply to any formula. We just recorded the songs we liked and just hoped that everybody else liked them too. And so fortunately for us, everybody did, and we've just always gone on that way.
Does it really matter if whomever's in the band at a different moment, at a specific moment?
Does it really matter?
It does matter then. It's a matter of whomever is in there. That's
well,
what
I
the
mean,
sound
bearing in mind that Mick and John and myself have similar tastes in music, so when we met Stevie and Lindsay and heard Lindsay play guitar and everything, we all really liked them. But so I mean, we all have. In that way, whoever we would choose to replace someone would be someone that we like. And if it's someone that we like, and if the public like what we do, then we're hoping that the public will like them too, if you see what I mean. The combination of the people. I mean, if I were to leave tomorrow, for example, which isn't going to happen, but let's be hypothetical, then I would assume that the other 4 members would find someone to replace me that they like, therefore they'd hope that the public would like them too. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. When the record started really selling big, the Fleetwood Mac album, what did it feel like? Did it feel like, gee, it's about time, or did it feel like, oh, gee, me? It seemed like the band seems sort of surprised.
Yeah, we were. I mean, we knew it was a good album. We were thrilled with it. But we really did. I mean, we had a lot of faith in the band too. We knew it would be at least as successful as the old combination had been with Bob Welch. But we didn't really dream to, rising to those kind of success figures that we got. We were kind of stunned, I think.
It seemed like everybody honestly loved it.
Yeah.
Sometimes people have false modesty and they say, big deal.
Yeah, well, it wasn't for us. It was just an incredible honour, and it was just such an incredible thrill to have that happen to us. That record just skyrocketed. I mean, simmered around for a while, you know, and then at the onslaught of the first few gigs we did, we could tell by the response of the audience that it was very much liked. This particular formula of the band was very much liked by the public, and I guess maybe the public needed something like us at the time. But I mean, you know, I think we were probably the first band to have 2 frontline female singers. I mean, I don't think Hart was around at the time.
Lots of people.
It was interesting, you know. It was an interesting sort of formula, interesting combination of people, and it still is really. It's interesting visually as well as any other way to see us, you know.
Because it's just distinct individuals.
Yeah, you know, and we're all very separate in the way we look. If you look at the way Mick is, and John is, and Stevie is, and I am, and Lindsay on stage, we all the guys don't have long curly hair, and you know, and everyone is just so radically individual from the other, you know.
It's more like what you'd find in any group of people that work together in real life.
Yeah.
You walk into an office, you see a bunch of people who don't look alike.
Unless they have to wear grey suits and white shirts.
And do a showbiz office.
To do a showbiz office, right?
That's right. They'll all have identical gold chains, but you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like 5 people who are pros and have gotten together to perform.
Yeah.
That's what they're there for.
Yes.
Not part of some brotherhood or.
It's fascinating to me. It's even more individual now.
Is the same band even more individualistic, the members?
Yeah, visually. I mean, we had a photograph session yesterday. I had to really realise how different we all are. You know, we all, rather than not being recognisable as individuals, people tend to know our names. You know, where some other band they go, oh, that the bass player, everyone knows John's name. Everyone knows, you know, everyone knows everyone's name in our band. The fans, you know, it's like, and that's wonderful.
I don't think Lindsay could get recognised now, though.
Well, he's had short hair for quite a while now. He's already done 1 tour with short hair. In fact, I think it's about half an inch longer than it was. I think he's letting it grow out.
Mm. So, let me ask you about the award shows. There were so many.
Oh yeah.
Remember when you were doing all these award shows?
Yeah.
Did you do them because it was a lot of fun? Because you were so surprised to be there in the first place?
Yeah, we did it. Well, we did it because it was such an honour to start with. I mean, it was just it was our year, you know. It was a big thrill for us. And yeah, we did it because it was a lot of fun. There was one show where we had to keep getting up. Which one was that? The Rock Awards or something? Well, we knew that we got 2 of the awards, but we got 4, I think, altogether. And by the time the 4th one came along, I remember saying to Mick, I said, oh, this is going to be a bit embarrassing to keep trundling up there. And it was as if we paid someone off to win all the prizes. But that was just a phenomenal thrill. It really was.
It certainly must have been. What, you're embarking on a big tour right now.
Yeah, 2 months. 2 months.
That's the first one in how long? Over a year?
Yeah, about 15 months, I think.
Do you have to get your road chops up?
My road chops?
Yeah.
Chops? What do you mean?
I mean, getting used to the rhythm of the road and...
Oh, no, not really. We tend to be... In fact, I can't wait to get on the road to have a rest. It's so chaotic here. No, it's very well organised on the road for us. And that's another one of those noises. It's very well organised, and we're treated very well. Spoilt to death, as we pay to be spoilt to death.
Must be nice luxury.
Well, it's like I say, it's peaceful actually, relatively, because you just go do the concert, Come home, you can be asleep by midnight if you want, you know. In LA, it's impossible to be asleep by midnight. The phone's ringing to all hours of it, you know. It's mad.
You're now a permanent resident of America?
Mm-hmm. Hello, Mick.
See you later.
Was it? No, Chris Hill can take me. That's all right. Hi, Liz.
Hello. Hello. See you later. Don't be long.
All right. We better think about winding it up because I'm going to be late.
Okay. Well, quickly, asking you about America. You moved to America, what, about 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, yeah.
Was it culture shock?
Well, we've been coming here for like years before we actually moved moved to LA. But we'd always lived in hotels, and so I guess actually living here was a little of a culture shock, you know, getting used to the supermarkets and everything's bigger and better over here. Yeah, I was the one that didn't want to move to start with. I wanted to still live in England. 6 months later, my opinion totally reversed, and I loved it here. I love it here in LA.
Do you go home at all? Or?
Every now and again. Yeah, my father lives over there. And I think that I'd probably like to live there again at some point. You know, as I'm rapidly approaching 40. I think by the time I'm 50, I'd like to be living back in England again. But for now, there really isn't. I mean, there's nowhere for me like Los Angeles. I love it. I really do.
Yeah, it's hard to think of another place to be.
Oregon, I like.
I mean, to conduct a career. Oregon's wonderful.
Oh, I saw. Yeah, quite. I mean, I think if and ever before I go back to England again, I'd like to spend a few years living in Northern California. I love it up there. We just came back from a camping holiday where it was the first time I'd ever had the chance to see America as Americans see it, you know. And gosh, the countryside is just absolutely exquisite.
Where'd you go?
Yosemite and, you know, around that general, you know, to Death Valley, as a matter of fact. Most people go to Hawaii for their vacations, you know, I go to Death Valley. It was quite an experience.
I just went on a 3-week trip to Washington, Oregon, up in the mountains and
Oh, lovely, yeah. I adore it up there.
I prefer that to resorts.
Yes, I do too. I think I do.
Let me ask you a studio question before I let you go. Lindsay was sort of the producer of this album. In fact,
He had really a lot to do with it, yeah.
when in a situation where a band member emerges to direct a certain aspect of activity, what's it like, you know, from taking orders from a guy you hang out with, in a sense?
Well, I mean, they were never orders. They were just...
Suggestions?
It was just a question of all of us being in the studio, and Lindsay being more of a technician and very much absorbed into the techniques and methods of recording, more so than any of the rest of us. I mean, it usually works out very democratically and Lindsay's ideas, for the most part, were the best ones. So, I mean, in the event of somebody else coming up with a better idea, then obviously it was to Lindsay to back down and say, that's the best idea. I mean, what we want is the best thing for the song. That's all.
Here. Is Fleetwood Mac going to be with us forever? Will there always be a Fleetwood Mac? Is it a tradition and institution?
Yes, I think so. I think so. I don't know so much if it's not this one, whether there'll be another one after this one, this particular one. But this one's going to be around for a long time, so we're all very happy.
Have you done everything you wanted to do as Fleetwood Mac?
No, I don't think so. I don't think we were just breaking the seal, as it were, at the moment. I think musically, we've got years ahead of us to experiment and work together. We're just beginning to learn how to work with each other now. It's wonderful.
It's a very slow process. People think that it's like instant coffee or something, but it's not.
No, it isn't. No, you've got five individual ideas and five individual personalities to consider. And bearing that in mind, we get on incredibly well with each other.
So
And it's very exciting.
the hot rumor is that you're healthier than ever, and
The hot rumour is that we're healthier than ever. Yeah, why? Did people say we were unhealthy?
no. I'm counting the old rumors. Remember the old rumors? I figured we would start our own new rumors.
Oh, I see, yes. We're hot and healthy.
You heard it here first. Anything you'd like to say to the people of the world before you rehearse?
Before I rehearse, thank you for your support, everybody. And please stand by and listen to Tusk. I hope you love it as much as we do. Bye.
I love it. Were you getting involved in some causes for a while? In Wales or something?
We weren't involved so much as just... What's the matter?
I'm just airing the smoke.
Smoke-filled room. Political deals are being made.
We weren't involved so much as just feeling concern. It wasn't like a pilgrimage or, you know... We love sea life, and we love, you know, we're very much involved in... Not involved, but for Jacques Cousteau Society, keeping the sea as it should be kept, and pollution and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to get into any heavy thing about that now, but that's a worthwhile cause. If you know, I would gladly do charities for that anytime.
Anywhere. Well,
Can you kind of wind this up?
let's wind it up. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. Because Chris has to go to rehearsal.